Welcome to the Age of Fission radio show with your host, Lonnie Clark, where we constantly remind you that love is greater than fear and happiness is resistance. Hi, everybody. This is Lonnie Clark with the Age of Fission radio show, and I am going live, and I'm going to be reading Helen Caldicott's book. It's my 8th reading of her book. I apologize to anybody who's listening to this, my YouTube subscribers. For me, I have a lot of subscribers. It's almost 400 now. Woohoo! I think that's awesome if there's 400 people that are interested in breaking the lies of the nuclear industry. And I want to remind everybody that this is Keep Space for Peace Week. You can go to the Global Network Against Weapons and Nuclear Power in Space. And their website is www.spaceforpeace.com, and that's the number 4. And I think even if you spell in FOR, it'll take you there too. So that's my understanding of it. Let me ditch my keyboard. Hold on one second. I'm going to put you on silent. Okay, I'm back. So I am not going to talk. I have a lot to talk about, but I'm going to do another radio show. My podcasts are playing on KEPW 97.3 LP. How do they say it? KEPW.org, which is 97.3 FM LP in Eugene and Springfield, Oregon. And I want to thank my listeners in Springfield and Eugene for listening to my podcast. And I hope that this show inspires you to actually care that we are being lied to about the nuclear contamination, to actually go to the Department of Energy and the NRC websites and comment on issues that are happening. I know right now NUMEC is about to get some containers approved that are very, very weak. There are things that are happening where they are going to they're going to move nuclear waste from San Onofre nuclear power facility, which has been closed down for several years down near San Clemente, right on the coast. But they want to move all this nuclear waste 100 feet closer to the beach. That doesn't make sense, but that's what they plan on doing. So there's comments and there's things going on. I am going to do another show on this, but let me get right to this reading, because I didn't read very much last week. As most of you know, this is my avocation, and by profession, I'm a tax resolution specialist, which means most of my clients wait to file their taxes till the very end. So I've been very, very, very busy. Last week I could only read a few pages. Let me get into this. Let's see. 3 minutes in. I guess that's not too bad of just yapping away. So it is the new nuclear danger. Do I have the right microphones on? Hold on just one second. Let me double check everything. Because I don't want to read for 45 minutes and then discover, that everything is feedbacking, got a bad feedback loop. So we're good to go. So this book that I'm reading by the very gracious Dr. Helen Caldicott, who is the mother of the anti-nuclear fight. I remember seeing her when I was a young woman on the Dick Cavett show, talking about how horrible, all the horrible things that nuclear contamination did to children. And I went about my way thinking that things were being fixed. Well, things didn't get fixed. In fact, things have gotten worse. It's not better. So it's way worse. And this is nukes against nukes in Space Week. But the government is moving along, man. They just awarded big $109 billion, $109 million to launch space pads. They're going to build space pads. And then that's phase 1. And then phase 2 is who's going to be doing the workload. So there's a story on, what's the name of that website called? It's called spacenews.com. I suggest anyone interested in understanding how they're just moving ahead for weapons in space, the United States military has every intention of being dominant in space by 2020, folks. So please resist. I say happiness is resistance and love is greater than fear. And so make yourselves happy and let's all resist this. So Helen Caldicott's book, this is the 8th reading, The New Nuclear Danger, subtitle, George W. Bush's Military-Industrial Complex. And we are on we stopped at page 87, at the very top of page 87. But I think what I'm going to do is go to the bottom of page 86 and start the new subtitle. And that is called Patriot PAC-3 Army System. This is a hit-and-kill warhead on a missile guided by aerodynamic fins. The current version is an upgraded model of the Patriot PAC-2. Excuse me, I'm going to say that again. This current version is an upgraded model of the Patriot PAC-2, a defense used against Iraqi Scud missiles during the Gulf War. The Pentagon, despite the dazzling TV propaganda at the time, has been forced to admit that not one of the Patriot missiles intercepted a single Scud missile, a fact that did not bode well for the future development and upgrading of the Patriot. Although the missiles certainly seemed to be hitting the Scuds, these images that played and replayed clearly did not represent what was actually happening in real time during the Gulf conflict. Hang on one second. I'm going to put you on mute for 10 seconds. So did you count to 10? I'm going to get back to it. I left my water on the other side of the room. That's not a good thing if I plan on reading for an hour. So, along with the commentary, they're planning on it. You should see what they're building. This is unbelievable. I got all stuck on that spaceone.com place. It was just a shock. Okay. The new upgraded version of the Patriot missile, PAC-3, will be 17 feet long and weigh 640 pounds with a 22-mile or 33-kilometer range. The warheads will be equipped with sensors to locate and hone in on the target, with small rocket thrusters to maneuver the bomb on a collision course. Destruction of the enemy missile will be accomplished by energy of the impact. 16 of these interceptor missiles will be loaded onto a Patriot launcher. Cost: original estimates for the upgraded Patriot came in at $5 million for each interceptor, based on building 2,200 PAC-3s to meet the 2 war criteria. This figure is now reduced to 1,200 PAC-3s at $2 million each. Gee, what a bargain, huh? The total estimated cost of the PAC-3 system is $7.4 billion. But according to the Government Accountability Office, this figure may be an underestimate because contractor costs could exceed current estimates, and 12 to 15 additional flight tests may be conducted as well, meaning 12 to 15 replacements. Beneficiaries? Principal contractors are Lockheed Martin Missiles and Fire Control for interceptors, and Raytheon Company for the launchers and the fire control vehicle with its small phase array radar, and the engagement control vehicle for computers and displays. There are 5 contractors. 5 contractors. For how much money did they say? Estimated $5 million for each interceptor. $7.4 billion for 5 contractors. Think about that. That's over $1 billion each if you spread it out evenly. Evaluation. There's no guarantee that these weapons will work if the performance of their predecessors is any indication. Note that the destruction of one missile will cost $2 million just for one anti-missile. This amount does not include the infrastructure plus the R&D necessary for its construction. Dang. Navy Area Defense. The missiles in this system, called Block 4A, have a range of 62 to 124 miles, longer than that of the Army's PAC-3, and they are placed within vertical launch tubes on Aegis destroyer ships. These are an updated version of the Standard 2 anti-air missile, which is already deployed. They will be equipped with a hit-to-kill warhead for endo-atmospheric intercepts, an infrared seeker to supplement their radar seeker, and a radio frequency adjunct sensor. Development and operational tests are already complete. The system is in low-rate initial production. That was in 2002. No doubt it's already done. Wow. The cost to the American taxpayers, it is estimated to be $8.98 billion. Like $9 billion. 8.98. How do you like that? That's infuriating, isn't it? 8.98. Why don't they just say $9 billion, those rats? Beneficiaries, Raytheon is the main subcontractor with 5 subcontractors. Let me fix my mic. You know, I wish that I knew how to do the whole chat room and figure this out, but I am figuring out Spreaker. So when I go live, I don't know how to be able to connect with people. And the likelihood is that there's nobody here because I don't think many people know how to find me on Spreaker. Most of my audience is on YouTube. But at some point we'll get that one down. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep doing this until the economy collapses and everything stops and we can't communicate on digital stuff anymore. Page 88. Okay. Evaluation. The General Accounting Office warns the Navy plans to contract for the low-rate initial production of 185 Block 4A missiles at an estimated cost of $568.2 million prior to the completion of any realistic operational testing. We are concerned that the Navy will make a premature commitment to production of unproven missiles. Really? Isn't that what they do? However, the Navy is convinced that their system is superior to the Army's Patriot system because the Army requires more than 126 C-5A airplane flights to Korea, for example, to rapidly deploy the Patriot Battalion, which is 194 missiles, just to protect U.S. troops. The Navy would need only 3 to 4 Aegis ships to protect most U.S. troops in Korea and Japan. Nevertheless, the Navy intends to build 1,500 missiles to put on 57 Aegis destroyers and 22 Aegis cruisers by the year 2011. And we are far past that, aren't we? No doubt they did it. I wonder what it actually cost. Let me make a note, because you know what? I should look that up. Maybe I'll get you some answers on that one, because this is outrageous. Let's just find out what happened. I'll make a note to say what happened. And I'll look it up next week. And I'll report back to you, my throng of fans who care about Mother Earth. Medium Extended Air Defense System, MEADS. MEADS is designed to be a rapidly deployable, highly mobile theater defense missile defense system to be used in the battlefield to protect soldiers. Traversing through the terrain and maneuvering with troops, it will provide a protection of 360 degrees. There will be 16 missiles per launcher and 100 launchers in a battery. Cost. Under pressure by the U.S. government, Germany and Italy have been persuaded to confiance the particular anti-missile system. The U.S. will fund 55%, Germany 28%, and Italy 17%. In 1996, meads was estimated to cost a total of $40 billion, but new estimates are now predicted to be many times this amount. 40 billion? Many times? I wonder, wow. Now, this is why our cultures are falling apart, because we're spending all of our money on warheads and war and crime and neglecting the needs of the people. Beneficiaries: prime contractors, Lockheed Martin Missiles and Fire Control, Alenia Marconi Systems in Rome, Italy, Daimler Chrysler Aerospace AG in Munich, Germany. Evaluation: the 1996 estimate for developing and producing 100 complete mead system, 60 for the U.S. and 40 for Europe, are estimated at $40 billion over 15 years, based on the PAC-3 missile costs of $1 million each. The subsequent increase to $3 million per missile caused an uproar in the MEADS program. Airborne Warming and Control Systems. AWACS. That's the acronym. AWACS. Airborne Warming and Control System. The Air Force already has a fleet of 34 AWACS, a strange Boeing 707 aircraft with a saucer-shaped radar dish on top of the plane, as do Britain and Saudi Arabia. NATO operates 18 AWACS. South Korea, Turkey, and Italy are interested in buying. The AWAC planes are to be upgraded by Boeing to track missiles and to provide target information specifically for Star Wars operations. Wow, I thought we weren't doing Star Wars. So, to track, so that means that Turkey, South Korea, Italy, Britain, Saudi Arabia. Cost. Upgrades will cost $60 million, and the infrared tracking for each plane is a cost of $8 to $15 million. Beneficiary: Boeing Defense and Space Group. Evaluation: this radar will be very useful for missile tracking, and it has been modified to track elusive cruise missiles. I'm going to move my microphone closer. Hold on. Yeah, and, I get some comments on my YouTube channel because I post this up as on my YouTube channel. I post the audio up, and I've had some people make some quite rude comments about my reading. But let me just suggest to you that I am reading this book because people do not read. And they don't read this information. They conveniently do not read what's really going to affect them. And this is really already going to affect us. So I'm just going to delete all nasty comments. I'm just wanting to put that out clear. Okay, next subtitle. Joint Surveillance and Target Attack Radar Systems, JSTARS. The JSTARS surveillance plane is designed to detect, track, classify, and support the attack on moving and stationary objects, targets, from a distance of 120 miles. The Joint Army and Air Force project, it will either pinpoint missile batteries, destroying them before their missiles are launched, or it will provide early detection of missiles after launching. Cost $11 billion. Beneficiary: Northrop Grumman Corp. Evaluation: these new planes were tested during the Bosnian War in 1995 and 96. They were found to be suitable for their task. Despite this problem, the Undersecretary of Defense approved full-scale production. The GAO blasted this move as being premature and raising the program's level of risk. Wow. So who cares what the GAO is? And for those of you that don't know what the GAO is, that's the General Accounting Office of the United States government, where they look at all the government projects and say, is this a good idea or is this a bad idea? They crunch the numbers and the statistics. New subtitle. Upper Tier Defense, Exto-Atmospheric. In this area, once again, the Army and Navy are competing with each other. Upper Tier defense systems are designed to attack incoming missiles and bombs at high levels in the Earth's atmosphere or just above the atmosphere in space. High Theater Altitude Area Defense, THAAD, T-H-A-A-D, and most people have heard this if you've been paying attention. THAAD is a ground-based launcher of upper-tier interceptors, i.e., missiles launched from the ground to intercept other missiles high in the atmosphere. Defending an area of 120 miles at heights of more than 90 miles, it is more extensive than the lower-tier systems. Its missiles will have a range of 650 miles and will deploy a hit-to-kill interceptor, destroying its target on collision energy, not explosive forces. However, THAAD cannot sit alone in the field because it is vulnerable to attack from cruise missiles or weapons launched from planes, so it must be protected with a Patriot or some of the lower-tier defense system. Protecting a missile with a missile so it can destroy a missile. Each THAAD launcher is designed to hold 10 interceptors. A total of 9 to 13 launchers compose a battery. The Tactical Operations Center and an X-brand TMD-GBR theater missile defense ground-based radar are needed. Cost. The current estimate for the acquisition of THAAD and its 20 years of operational life is $23 billion. Beneficiaries: Lockheed Martin Missiles and Space is the prime contractor. They are constructing a plant 40 miles west of Huntsville, Alabama, specifically for THAAD work. On June 28, 2000, Lockheed Martin signed a $4 billion 8-year contract with the Army for full-scale engineering, manufacturing, and development of Configuration A, the first stage of THAAD. This will include 27 flight tests. The company hopes that sales to other countries could be in the range of several $billion, exceeding national Pentagon purchases. THAAD has 12 subcontractors, including Raytheon, Boeing, United Technologies, Northrop Grumman, Honeywell, and Westinghouse. Wow. Well, Westinghouse went out of business, didn't they? Evaluation. The first 2 trial flights of the THAAD interceptors at White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico in April and July 5th. The first 2 trial flights of THAAD interceptors at White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico in April and July 1995 tested only the ability of THAAD to fly, maneuver, and separate from the warhead. One test worked, the other test failed. A third test in October was reported as successful. Subsequent flight tests for the missile's infrared sensors had dismal results, 6 attempts and 6 failures spanning 4 years. During a parade of failures, the Army kept justifying more tests in order to compete with the Navy for the upper-tier interceptor that will eventually prevail. The General Accounting Office is critical of THAAD. A suitable target for testing the THAAD system against longer-range missiles does not exist, and the funds have not been requested for target development. Let me switch the page, guys. Hold on. Oh, okay. And the funds have not been requested for target development and production. Without a long-range target test target to represent the more formidable, higher-velocity missiles that THAAD could face, the system's operational effectiveness will remain in doubt, and DoD will not have a reasonable assurance that it could rely on the THAAD in an actual conflict. When THAAD finally intercepted a target missile in 1999, the Army optimistically decided that the program was so successful that the final flight test would be unnecessary. Wow. Philip E. Coyle III, the director of operational test and evaluation for the Pentagon, was scathing in his criticism. He said that the THAAD missiles used in the White Sands range were prototypes and not the correct configurations that will be used. He called the tests highly scripted and nowhere in the situation that would be encountered in with actual hostile missiles. Retired Air Force General Lieutenant General Larry Welch called the extraordinary push to deploy THAAD and other hit-to-kill vehicles as a rush to failure. As a senior aide, I apologize to you guys for this reading tonight. I'm sorry. After tax season, I promise I'll read you do my work on this show a little bit earlier in the day, a lot earlier in the day. An aide to a senior Democratic senator said, "The taxpayers have paid for something we don't have." Bob Aldrich, writer of The Son of Star Wars, who compiled much of this material, described the system as a corporate golden goose. Now that is an understatement, corporate golden goose. And we're being cooked. I just can't believe that people are against nuclear weapons and not against nuclear contamination. It just blows me away that they separate the two. Naval Theater-wide NTW Missile Defense, new subtitle. An upper-tier system to be deployed on Aegis ships, NTW, will use a Standard 3 missile to carry a 20-pound hit-to-kill lightweight exoatmospheric projectile called LEAP, L-E-A-P. Lightweight extra atmospheric projectile. So you see that acronym, LEAP, as a warhead. With a range of 370 to 620 miles, it is designed to intercept missiles at the same atmosphere and as such is classified as exoatmospheric. NTW will require space-based and or airborne early warning sensors to detect and to help hit the ballistic missiles. It is to be developed in two segments, Block 1 and Block 2. Block 1 will have 80 interceptors carried on 4 ships. To be deployed by 2010, it will protect against rudimentary missiles like the ones from North Korea, Nandong-1, with ranges of 1,000 kilometers. Block 2 is to be used against missiles with ranges of up to 3,000 kilometers, missiles from China and Russian ballistic missiles, and as such constitutes a clear violation of the ABM Treaty. Block 3, or Standard 3, is a Stage 4 missile. The first 2 stages launch the interceptor into space. The third stage boosts the interceptor farther, and the fourth stage is the LEAP kill vehicle, which using infrared sensors is designed to detect and hit the target. The third stage of the target will take readings from the Navstar Global Positioning System, GPS, satellites for course correction. Global Position System, that's GPS. Interesting, in 2002, she felt compelled to tell us what GPS was. Cost, $1.9 billion is earmarked to spend on the Naval Theater-wide missile defense systems between 2000 and 2005. Wow, $1.9 billion. And that's already gone. I mean, when we consider how many trillions and trillions of dollars we've spent on our systems, it's unbelievable. So we are coming up on the half an hour, and I do want to thank KEPW again for carrying my radio show. And I want to remind our listeners who are listening to KEPW tonight that this is our membership week, that the whole month of October is the membership drive for KEPW. And if you're listening to this radio station, even on Spreaker, I would encourage you to go to, and enthusiastically encourage you to go to www.kepw.org and listen to us online and become a sustaining member. We're looking for sustaining memberships. KEPW was one of 16 brand new FM radio stations that was handed out by the FCC in 2016. And literally, it has risen from nothing. It was Eugene Peaceworks, a small, tiny little nonprofit, some people working on this philanthropically, but no money in this organization, absolutely none. They got wind that the FCC was handing out new FM radio stations. So they put the application in, and guess what? They got it. So then they had to scramble for the first year or so to get up the satellite, to get the I don't think it's called a satellite. I think it's called the radio receiver. It's a low-watt radio receiver, and it plays in all of Springfield and all of Eugene. That's our area here. I think we get a radius of like 60, 75 miles from the radio station, from where it's at. And the radio station is really run by 100% volunteers. I mean, a few people get paid small, tiny bits of money, but there is nobody on salary enough to be able to make a living. It's everybody just giving of their time. But this is the one station. The mission of the statement is so awesome. The mission of the statement is to serve the underserved. So we have, yes, eclectic music. We have local musicians, people who can't get published. We play their music. We have a show called Legalized Survival, which speaks specifically to the issues of the unhoused and the homeless. We have a program called Mama's Just Saying, where someone talks about how we can just become better people and talks about, what we can do in our communities. I mean, we have a local Eugene show. Pam Driscoll does a local Eugene show. I have The Age of Fission. They also play Nuclear Hot Seat on Tuesday night. So I definitely want to thank KEPW for really just being so awesome, like keeping it real, not being like greedy, not being such capitalists that it becomes about the money. This is our membership drive month, but we are not refusing at KEPW to play music unless you call in and give us your $10 a month. We're just asking the listeners of this radio station to go to our website and become a sustaining member. We're looking for sustaining members of $5 a month, $10 a month, $25 a month, $50, any amount you want. And let's say you sign up for $100 a month and then you discover you can't do you can't do that whole $100 a month. Drop us a line and say, hey, cut me back to $50 a month or $25 a month, and we'll get it done just like that. So those of you that are listening to KEPW.org, I want to thank you for being our growing audience. We are looking for volunteers still. There are positions that could be filled down at the radio station. And you can go to our website and look at the Contact Us info and come down on the first Thursday of every month. There is a potluck for all volunteers. So I want to encourage everyone who's listening to this radio station, and actually anyone listening, not even in the Eugene, Oregon area, Eugene and Springfield, Oregon area, and anyone, definitely, if you're listening to this in your car, please, go to www.kepw.org and become a sustaining member so that we can grow and become the station that you want. And if you have any ideas or suggestions, I think you can contact info@kepw.org. And in fact, if you just want to send them an email and say, hey, I want to become a member or whatever, we give you personal service because, like I said, we're small and growing. So I'm going to get back to Dr. Caldicott's book. I just had to stop and really promote this awesome radio station because I encourage you. I know that what I'm reading is grim. This is not like it's kind of a shock to be reading this because this is written in 2002. And I'm sure many of these programs have already gone way over budget. They've been completed and gone way over budget. And we've already watched many of them fail, no doubt. So, and where else do you hear that? You want to know what else is really great? In 1 second, I'll get back to the book, but one of the best things I love about this radio station is how inclusive it is to every community. This is the only station I've ever heard of that has that plays music for the Hispanic community, completely in Spanish, Mexican music, Latin American music. We have a show called Spanglish with the youth in the Eugene community that speak English Spanish, and so that's an outlet for them. But I've never heard of a radio station that sort of mixes it up, English and Spanish, and is really inclusive with the Hispanic community, and that is unique, and I think it's awesome. I know that our Mexican music plays at 2 o'clock every afternoon, and as a Calihana, I totally appreciate it. So, back to Dr. Caldicott's book. How about that one? So we're got like 25 minutes to go. I'm hoping I can read for another half an hour. I will. Okay. Oh my gosh. NWTs. Okay. Evaluation. Here we go. Evaluation. The report for the council. Yes. A report from the Council for a Livable World said that the sea-based area and boost-face alternatives to the NMD could cost between $30 to $36 billion, would be detrimental to other naval operations, and would not be deployed until 2014. This estimate precludes hidden costs to the Navy and does not include costs to the space-based tracking sensors. The addition of 7 or more ships to cope with this simultaneous geographical threats could raise the cost to $43 billion, the report says. Oh my gosh. The report also points out that it would be impossible to incorporate boost phase interceptors at very high acceleration and high burnout velocity on Aegis ships in the present vertical launch system modules, so new ones would have to be built. Despite the Navy's enthusiasm, the General Accounting Office warned that the NTW has significant technical and schedule problems. It also questions the Navy's ability to design a kill vehicle capable of discriminating between the actual bomb and the decoys in time to allocating and testing. Oh my God. Wow. I think I skipped the beneficiaries, but you know who they are. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, blah, blah. On an even more frightening note, it is more important to understand that if the missiles were to be used for boost phase interception, the ships that carry them would need to be located near the enemy country, making them an easy target. Furthermore, the Navy commander would have virtually no time to assess the threat of enemy missile launches. So the launch of anti-missile missiles would be initiated by a computer, a process aptly described as the tyranny of reaction time. Operational tests will not occur until 2010. Despite this time frame, more than 50% of the interceptors are to be deployed by 2008. Wow. And so they don't care. They just cook up these ideas and go ahead with it, right? Like they really do not care whether they function right, whether they work well. They're just going to build the missile systems, and the American people are going to pay for it, and our vets can sleep on the street. We also have a show about that on KEPW. The vets can sleep on the street. We can have people kicked out of their houses because they can't pay their mortgages. I met a college-educated person living on the streets here in Eugene. He was a U of O alumni. lost his housing. This is so outrageous. I think I should play effects when I have to take a glass of water. How about that, you guys? Which effect should we have? I think that was what we should do. So that's what I'll do. I'll kick into putting a little bit of sound in there. Okay. This is so outrageous. It's hard for me just to read this book because I start spitting nails. I mean, and I'm quite conscious of the fact that I can't cuss because I'm on an FCC regulated venue here. But this is just beyond comprehension. There's $1 billion here, $1 billion there. And what are they doing now? They're cutting. This new budget, they just gave tax rich to the rich. And they're going to be cutting social services. That is intrinsic. They are going to be cutting out disability. It's just sad. Okay. High energy laser weapons. Here we go. Talk about weapons in space. A whole other category. Hold on, let me clear my throat. Let's try I have to keep my glasses on. You guys can't see me, but I wear glasses and I'm quite blind. But I took my glasses off so I could read. But hold on. That was a good plan. Okay. That allowed me to clear my throat and get a glass of water. High energy laser weapons. A whole other category of laser-based weapons, appropriately called killer lasers, is also planned as part of an overall missile defense. These weapons directly violate the ABM treaty because they are to be used against intercontinental ballistic missiles. Under development since Reagan's Star Wars program began, they are now divided into 3 types. Air Force Airborne Lasers, ABLs. Carried aboard a Boeing 747, this laser is designed to destroy an intercontinental missile in its boost phase. The 747s will be equipped with massive infrared sensors and megawatt-class chemical oxygen iodine lasers, coils, which will focus intense laser energy on hostile missiles at altitudes between 39,000 and 70,000 feet. The intensity of the focused laser beam will burst the motor casing of the missile. Each plane will carry chemicals for 20 to 40 shots, and each shot will cost $1,000. So each plane will be spending $20 to $40,000. Wow. It is planned that 2 planes will circle constantly at 40,000 feet, ever ready for an attack. Cost? $11 billion. Beneficiaries? Lockheed Martin, Boeing, TRW. Evaluation. Serious technical obstacles face chemical laser weapons, including diffusion of the beam through the atmosphere, accurate target practicing during the air turbulence. Not target practicing. Accurate target tracking during the air turbulence, and miniaturization and packing of the equipment so that it will fit into a plane. Miniaturization, let me read that again, I beg your pardon. And miniaturization and packing of the equipment so that it will fit into a plane. David Collier, a chief scientist for the Army Space and Strategic Defense Command, said, "Laser geeks tend to overestimate their effectiveness. There's a major disagreement on the effectiveness of almost any laser system. Finally, depending on whether the missile is carrying hydrogen bombs or chemical or biological weapons, the country that launches the missiles and or its neighbors will be contaminated either by plutonium, highly toxic chemicals, or genetically modified lethal bacteria or viruses. Oh, Lord. This is so outrageous. New subtitle. This is the third one, right? There were 3 of them. This is the second type. Space-based laser, SBLs. A Reagan concept conceived in 1977, the SBL has been resurrected to become the Pentagon's first space-based weapon for use in both the ballistic missile defense and the theater missile defense programs, both overt violations of the ABM. Jointly funded by the Ballistic Missile Defense Organization and the Air Force, and operated by the Air Force, SBL will deploy 20 to 25 satellites, each equipped with a cylindrical hydrogen fluoride chemical laser capable of destroying 100 missiles at a range of 2,672 miles. The first SBL launch is scheduled for 2012. Cost. The total cost is estimated to be in the billions of dollars. Beneficiaries? So take a guess, you guys. Are you guessing? Are you guessing who it is? You can't guess, I'll tell you. Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and TRW were awarded an initial contract of $125 million in February 1999 to begin a space-based laser integrated flight experiment. Evaluation. A technology demonstration phase scheduled in autumn 2001 will culminate in a systems definitions review. Each review and modification tends to increase the cost of the system. Third type. This is the third type of the high-energy laser weapons. Tactical High-Energy Laser, or THEL, T-H-E-L. THEL is a ground-based laser incorporating command, control, and communications and intelligence systems, as well as a fire-controlled target acquisition radar and a laser pointer tracker. The laser can fire 60 shots without reloading. Each shot costs $3,000. It can fire 60 shots times 3,000. That's $180,000. Wow. Oh my gosh. The laser can fire without... I mean, honestly, this just infuriates me when you're reading the numbers. The numbers are just locking in my brain. Because we tonight here in Eugene, Oregon, have people sleeping in the streets. And they are planning this. This is why I want us to take to the streets. I want us to say, no, we cannot take this. We have got to stop these people. Ugh. Cost. $8 million has been spent on the program since 1996, with Israel's contribution at $67.5 million. But does that make sense? They're contributing. Israel contributes $67.5 million, but the United States gives Israel $1 million a day or something crazy like that, right? So it's actually our tax dollars coming back to us. So it's not really Israel helping us. It's us funneling the money through a different venue. Dang. Beneficiary, TRW Space and Electronics. Evaluation. Yatif Safir from the Jaffe Center of Strategic Studies in Tel Aviv said on May 26, 2000, that THEL is not cost-effective or practical. Each truck-mounted system can launch only 40 of these 120-millimeter diameter rockets without reloading, but a Katyusha battery has 6 trucks that can ripple fire 240 rockets. Wow. Major General Gabi Ashkenazi, commander of the Israeli Defense Force Northern Command, said, "It's like trying to protect the entire northern part of Israel from rain with a single umbrella." Battle management, command, control, and communications. This is a whole nother subsection. I think I have time. Let me put my glasses back on. Oh, we only have about 10 minutes, but I'm going to read for... Let's hold on. Just hold on, Pecan. That's what I tell everybody. This is quite a long section, but I think I can get it done. Battle management, command, control, and communication. This intricate computerized system will be the nerve center of all missile defense. It will receive information from a myriad sensors and sources in the U.S. Sometimes these sentences are written awkward, so I'm going to read it again. It will receive information from myriad sensors and sources the U.S. has deployed on land and sea, in space, and around the world. The information will be instantaneously processed by a battle management computer designed to produce a detailed picture in the missile attack. Because missiles move so fast, there will be no time for human input. The computer will therefore be programmed to initiate its own anti-missile attack. Obviously, the computer can never be tested under a realistic condition of an attack. The elements must be in place for the BM/C3. That's this Battle Management, Command, Control, and Communication. To function, including rockets, radar, satellites, transmitters, and command control centers as follows. Ground-Based Interceptor, GBI. The GBI is the NMD system, which is ground-launched. These acronyms get me. It consists of a booster stack missile with an exo-atmospheric kill vehicle, EKV, deployed atop a 3-stage rocket. The GBI will travel at speeds of 25,000 miles per hour, firing the EKV into space to shatter the enemy missile by impact. Booster stack. In July 1998, the Department of Defense selected a booster stack to design deploying commercial off-the-shelf motor stages. Cost? Each booster stack is estimated at $3 million. Beneficiaries? Boeing is the main contractor, Alliant Tech Systems and United Technologies are subcontractors. Evaluation? The first test of the booster stack will not take place until August or September 2001 at the earliest. This means Clinton was pressured to make a decision to proceed with NMD before the rockets had been constructed, let alone tested. So we're going to stop there. We're on page 97, and I'm going to pick this up next week. And I appreciate everybody who's been listening. And next week I will be able to read this much, much earlier because I won't have had to work 12 hours today. So we've got just a few minutes left, but I wanted to stop a little bit early and talk to you again about KEPW because it is our membership drive week. So let's give us a good hand for that one. Yay, KEPW! There you go. I totally love KEPW. I have to say I'm quite proud to be on the air with KEPW.org. I have never, ever, ever... I've never really heard of a radio station like this one. Besides the fact that they're playing my radio show, which is odd in its own, because most people don't even want to talk to you if you say you're talking about nuclear contamination, which frankly, as I said as I was reading, I'm blown away that people are very, very against nuclear weapons, but they don't think about the nuclear contamination. It's just as deadly. We have nuclear contamination all over our planet, folks. People freak out, but it does matter what you do and where you go. I strongly encourage people to stay out of the rain. And that's the thing. We have homeless people here in Eugene, Oregon, and KEPW has a show called Legalized Survival to help those people get their voices heard. Where have you heard that ever in the United States? A regular show where people aren't afraid of homeless people and they go out and talk to actual people who are living on the streets. either by choice or necessity. And there are some people by choice. I know a couple of people who said, "Screw it, they feel freer for a variety of reasons." Which, granted, that's not most of us. But that is a community here. And honestly, KEPW was a valuable member of this community. And I also want to thank, we have actually gotten some really awesome sponsors in the last couple of months. We had Dr. Silberman, who is a therapist. You can look him up, Silberman. He's a therapist in town. And we have had La Panaderia up on River Road become a sponsor. Dr. Mercedes Devalle has become a sponsor. We have had been supported at our membership drive by Sweet Life Bakeries. We were supported by New Day Bakery. We were supported by Reality Kitchen. We were supported by, Great Harvest. So we've had really good community sponsorship here, and that's because they recognize the value of this radio station. So I'm encouraging everyone to go to www.kepw.org and click on the button that says support and hit the sustaining membership. And if you can only give us a one-time donation, do that. By the way, it just occurred to me that they are giving out if you sign up in the month of October, you will get a t-shirt, a free t-shirt. So if you sign up and you give us, I think the amount is $3, the minimum. It's probably written on the thing, but $3 or $5 a month, you're going to get a t-shirt, and we'll send that out to you. So I wanted to stop and thank KEPW for carrying this show, carrying Libby Halevi's show. I'm going to be having some guests on in the next month. I haven't been able to really get to do them justice. I did an interview with Libby Halevi in the last month that actually turned out pretty good, but I was really tired, so I decided I'm going to wait to interview people until the tax crunch is over. So this is definitely homegrown, community-based radio. I know I'm out here on Spreaker. There's really not that many people on Spreaker listening to me, but you know what I think? It's not quantity, it's quality. Those people that hear my voice need to hear it, and it's for their lives, because hopefully I'm lighting a fire and getting them active and helping them figure out how they can move their lives to help save our Mother Earth and our Father Sky, because it is under attack. World War III is not going to happen. World War III is happening. It is here. The people in Yemen know quite well. The people in Africa know quite well. 50,000 people, I think, a month in the Congos die so that we can have laptops digging out coltan. So it does matter what we do. So I encourage everyone, in fact, to figure out what you can do. And do call your representatives, and please get registered to vote. Register to vote. Make sure you double check your registration also, because they are purging voters left and right, and especially right. The rights, like the Republicans are just clearing the voter rolls in those swing states. But that doesn't mean if you check it out again, you can re-register if you get re-registered in time. So put your courage feet on. And when I say put your courage feet on, that just means sometimes we have to do stuff even though it makes us a little bit afraid, but you have to do the right thing. Take right action. You know within your heart what's the right thing to do. I encourage everyone, put your courage feet on, because love is greater than fear, and happiness is resistance. And I believe we're here on purpose. We're here for a reason. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. We will talk to you guys next week. Put your courage feet on. Thank you, KEPW, and we'll talk to you later. The Age of Fission radio show brings you book readings, pertinent articles, interviews with both activists and victims of nuclear and environmental contamination. We strive to deliver only the facts from reliable sources. We want to remind you that love is greater than fear, and happiness is resistance. Our dedication to love and happiness paves the road for innovation and healing. As we face our harsh reality, let us hold each other up and rejoice in our humanity. If you want to comment, please send your thoughts to ageoffission@gmail.com. That's AGEOFFISSION @gmail.com. To your host, Lonnie Clark.